you're serious about becoming more spiritually aware, about opening yourself up to higher consciousness perspectives, and about developing your spiritual gifts for the benefit of yourself, others, and our world. Otherwise, you wouldn't have stayed with us thus far and be watching Module 4 of this series. So, what's the next step for you? And how do you take it? Well, surprisingly, adding to your capabilities and experience of life by further activating your spiritual gifts begins by subtracting from your experiences, by taking one or two things away and eliminating them from your life. Don't worry, the things you'll be subtracting from your experience you really don't need and can well do without. You can't pour anything into a vessel that's already full to the brim, can you? And with so many of us, our consciousness is full to overflowing with 1,001 things we don't need on our journey through life. And particularly with the clogging vibrations of past negative traumas. A regular letting go of this excess baggage that we all, to a lesser or greater degree, collect, hold on to very tightly, and carry around with us everywhere we go, frees up space in our consciousness and our spirit, allowing us to let in and enjoy fulfilling new experiences. Bearing in mind that there is no time in spiritual reality, just an accumulation of experience. Have you ever considered that negative vibrations from your so-called past, experiences that were traumatic and upsetting and hurtful at the time they happened to you, have exactly the same debilitating effect on you whenever you choose to resist them in memory? They still exist as active energy matrices within your aura, that bubble of spiritual energy that surrounds you. They clog your spiritual arteries. They slow you down. They tie you to the past. They limit future possibilities. They skew and sour your present view of life, and they can eventually make you ill. It therefore makes good sense to let go of them, doesn't it? But how do you do this? Well, today I'm going to take you through a simple visualization that you can use whenever you want to let go, really want to let go, of situations from the so-called past that are continuing to affect you negatively in the so-called present. Let's begin, shall we? At this point, you need to be sitting in your chosen meditation spot, and you need to talk to, relax and control your body as we taught you to do at the beginning of Module 1 of this course. Once you've done this, I'd also like you to take the walk in imagination down that grassy meadow that leads to your personal sanctuary, as we taught you to do in Module 2. Once you reach your sanctuary, please step inside and make yourself comfortable in one of the armchairs you placed there in a past exercise. I'll leave you for a couple of minutes to deeply relax your body and then to relocate in imagination to your sanctuary. And when I rejoin you, we'll move on into today's exercise. By now, you should be sitting comfortably in your personal meditation and healing sanctuary. I'd like you to imagine that you suddenly hear a knock at your sanctuary's door. Now, who could that be? In your imagination, get up from your comfortable armchair, go over to the door and open it. To your surprise, you discover that standing outside there is a refuse collector, holding by its handles a brightly coloured plastic refuse bin that has a removable lid on it. He or she, you decide, smiles, hands you the empty bin, then walks away. Take hold of it by its handles. You'll find that it is light, easy to handle, and completely empty. Now put the bin down, close the door, pick it up again, and return with it to your comfortable sanctuary armchair. Sit down and place the bin in front of you on the floor, removing its lid and placing this beside the open bin by your feet. Now it's time for you to let go. It's time for you to bring to mind, one at a time, all those painful experiences from the past that still trouble you, that still haunt you, that you found it difficult to free yourself from up to this point. You know the ones. In your imagination, try to give a shape, a form to those experiences, to visualize them in some way, perhaps seeing them as little grey clouds hovering, clustering around your head and your heart, or perhaps as spheres of grey energy. Now, gently take hold of each of these clouds or spheres in your hands, push them away from you, and place them one by one into the refuse bin. Don't cling on to them in any way. Make up your mind that it's time for them to release their hold on you. Some of them may tug at your emotions and want to stay with you. Subconsciously, you'll have become so used to them being around that they've become almost like friends. But who needs friends like these? Be determined. Let them go. Firmly place each one into the bin and take note of how you feel as you do so. Feel the relief, the peace as you disconnect from these negative influences and place them in the bin. I'll leave you to do this for a couple of minutes and we'll then move on into the second half of our visualization. By this stage, you should have dumped a number of your troublesome past experiences into the bin. So now take the lid by its handle and position it firmly on the bin, trapping the negative experiences you've just let go of firmly inside it. Do you hear that? There's a second knock at your sanctuary door. Stand up, pick up the bin, which you now find is a lot heavier than when you brought it into your sanctuary due to it containing the heavy excess baggage you've just placed into it, and take it to the door. Open the door and you'll see the refuse collector once again patiently standing there, smiling at you. He or she takes the bin from you, lifts it easily and swings it onto their shoulders as though it's as light as a feather. The refuse collector turns and walks away from you to an area about 100 yards away from your sanctuary door, where you can see a bonfire that this person must have built and lit. With a smile, they walk over to this fire, swing the bin from their back, and toss it into the flames. You watch, fascinated, as the bin and its contents quickly catch light. As they do so, you suddenly feel lighter, and with every second that passes, you become more energized. The bin and its contents are rapidly and completely consumed by the flames. Everything literally goes up in smoke and disappears. The refuse collector walks back to your door and assures you that the experiences you placed in that bin have left you forever. They can no longer harm you. They no longer have any power over you whatsoever. The person turns to leave, and as they do so, you see golden wings suddenly sprout from their shoulders, as their protective clothing transforms into shimmering white gold robes. They look back at you, their face now shining like the sun, and you realize that this being is not really a refuse collector at all, but an angel who loves you so much and is so concerned for your well-being that they have made a special journey here today to relieve you of the burden of the situations that have been binding and restricting you and consuming your life energies for so long. Uplifted, return to your armchair for a moment and drink in the comfort and lightness of being you now feel. It feels so good to have let go of all these things that have been holding you back, limiting you for so long. Now slowly get up, cross to your sanctuary's front door, go through it, shut it behind you, and over the next couple of minutes, take the leisurely journey back up the grassy meadow to your start point. If you're ready, and in your own time, slowly come out of your meditation now, closing and sealing your chakras as we taught you to do in Module 1. Back with me now? Good. Don't worry if you only manage to rid yourself of 1 or 2 negative experiences today. You can repeat this meditation as often as you like, as often as you feel is necessary. Whenever there's something in life, past or present, you feel you can't cope with, don't cope with it, hand it over instead. Please join me in part 3 of this module, when, in a related meditation, we'll be looking at a surefire spiritual way to approach and solve life's major challenges. If you haven't already, please be sure to subscribe to this channel now and hit the bell to be notified of the next video in Module 4 and to access earlier modules. And please subscribe to our other channels for more videos and more spiritual perspectives from the Joseph Communications. Links are at the end of this video.